Hello and welcome to my second YouTube video. In this video I will be talking about my recent trip to Nashville at the Vanderbilt Medical Center for a tilt table test and meeting with the Dysautonomia clinic at Vanderbilt Heart and Vascular Institute. Today is Thursday. The tilt table test was on Monday and the appointment with the doctor was on Tuesday. I am still feeling pretty poor, but I wanted to go ahead and make this video to share my experience. I am just starting to head out Saturday morning for my trip to Vanderbilt. I'm going to Chattanooga first for a couple days to visit family, and then I will head to Nashville. Can't wait to show you the rest of my journey. I did not really film anything in Chattanooga, so for the first 24 hours of the trip, I don't really have any footage to show you, but I did get to visit with my grandmother and brother, and that was really nice before my mom and I headed out to Nashville for the next 2 days. Hi everyone, I've made it to Chattanooga, forgot to film all of it, and we are now headed to Nashville. I'll see you there. After a nice drive, my mom and I arrived at the hotel and we checked in and had a nice, easy night so that I could prepare for the tilt table test the next day. Hi, I'm back in the hotel. It's been a few hours since the test and I've only just now felt energetic enough to film this video. The test went either really well or really bad, depending on what you were looking for in the results. I had a lot of symptoms occur when the test took place. I was really cold when I did the test, shivering, I got super nauseous, my vision went completely black, and I also had a heat flash, I started sweating. Overall, basically any symptom I have, I started to get at that moment. The test should have taken up to 45 minutes or until I pass out. I think I lasted somewhere between 15 to 20 minutes. So not even halfway there. I will let future me talk more about this as I am still super tired tonight and plan to go to bed early before my appointment with the doctor tomorrow to review the test results. For the tilt table test, I was taken into a room with a special bed meant for a tilt table. The bed is able to be rotated 75 degrees, which is where the tilt part of the tilt table comes in. I first laid on the bed and was hooked up to a blood pressure cuff here, an IV in my hand, and some heart rate monitoring stuff on my left hand. And as I laid on the table, my blood pressure was taken about every 3 minutes a few times, and I did some breathing exercises in between. After about 15 minutes, I think, they started to rotate the table 75 degrees, and they had put straps on me, one right here, just to keep me secure in case I fell or passed out so that I wouldn't faceplant on the floor. At first, it was going really well. I wasn't really having any symptoms when they tilted me up, and then that is when everything went wrong. After a few minutes, I started getting all the symptoms I discussed. Eventually, when I started having these symptoms, as I mentioned, the test had to be ended. I had lost the use of my legs and could not stand up. So with the strap that was right here, I was slipping down and it was cutting into my neck and I was unable to stand up to stop choking. Luckily, the nurses understood that, started laying me right back down and let me recover for a bit, and they even gave me some Sprite to help settle my stomach after the nausea I was experiencing. It is now Tuesday morning and the last day of our visit to Nashville and Vanderbilt. I'm all packed up and ready to leave the hotel and go to the doctor's appointment and review the test results. After that, we will be hitting the road, going back home. So after the doctor's appointment on Tuesday, I was also still feeling really bad. I was still having the effects of the tilt table test, so super shaky, lots of brain fog, really unsteady on my feet, and some vision blackouts and heart palpitations. And then at the doctor's appointment, I did a sort of smaller, less official tilt table test where I just laid on a table for 5 minutes and then stood up for 5 minutes with my blood pressure being taken every couple minutes or so. With that, my hand got super purple when I stood up because all of the blood went into the hands away from my brain. But I was able to stand for the whole 5 minutes, which I kind of wasn't expecting, but I was glad that I didn't fall. Additionally, they wanted to do some lab work, which means that I had to have my blood drawn. So with my low blood pressure already, having the blood drawn, even though it was necessary, did not help me improve at all and made me feel even worse with the unsteadiness, and head was pounding, as well as the needle injection site was very painful and still is a little bit bruised today. After the appointment, my mom and I headed home, and I am very glad that I went, even though I still feel very low energy and having a lot of symptoms. I'm glad that I'm now established with the Dysautonomia clinic, and I hope that they will be helpful in the future. So if anyone watching this thinks that they might have POTS or have some of the symptoms and need to have a tilt table test, here are a few recommendations I have to prepare for that test and how you are going to feel afterwards. First, make sure you have someone to drive you to and from the appointment. The testing site might require this, but if they don't, make sure you have someone else because you are not going to feel up to driving afterwards. Also, have some salty food and some electrolyte drinks for afterwards because you're going to be hungry and you're going to need that hydration and the salt to help start recovering and feeling better. Lastly, I would recommend giving yourself a couple days afterwards to recover, or just in case you're not feeling your best. I did not prepare for this, and I have had to miss a couple of my classes because I've been physically unable to get there without passing out. So just make sure that you talk to teachers or employers beforehand and say, hey, I'm gonna be gone for these days and I might miss a few more days afterwards. Overall, everyone has different experiences with dysautonomia and POTS or whatever else you may have. So if I didn't share a tip that you have, please feel free to leave it in the comments. I just want to help everyone the best that I am able, but as I mentioned, everyone has different experiences, different symptoms, and different levels of severity. So even though the trip to Nashville was only for my visit to Vanderbilt and the Dysautonomia clinic, that didn't mean I didn't have time to do anything fun, even though I was feeling pretty poor. The first night there on Sunday, my mom and I went to a really cool restaurant called the Slider House. It was right outside the hotel. As the name might suggest, they have tons of sliders. They had some fried pickles that I really enjoyed. And the next morning, Monday morning, I had time to go to the Nashville Zoo since my tilt table test was not until 2 in the afternoon. I did go in my wheelchair to the zoo because for the tilt table test I was off of my blood pressure medicine, which helps me not pass out, and I was unable to drink or eat, and both of those things also help me not pass out. So I decided that going in a wheelchair would probably just be safer, so that in case I do pass out, I'm not gonna hit my head on the ground. Luckily, I didn't pass out, probably because I wasn't changing position too much and stayed in the chair most of the time. So I'm very thankful that I had my wheelchair and was able to use it for that trip. There were a bunch of really cool animals. I especially liked the clouded leopards and got to talk with the keeper a little bit about clouded leopards and their habitat, if they're endangered, different habits they do, things like that. It was really cool. Now I will show you a little slideshow I put together of some animals I saw at the zoo. I hope you enjoy. I hope you liked this video. Please feel free to share it with your friends and family, as well as like and subscribe. It really helps out a lot. Hope you have a nice day and glad you watched this video. Bye!